Alright, so here we're going to teach Mr. Bruce some placement. He's never done this before, so this is how we're going to go. Leash pressure, there you go. Good boy. Just get him comfortable with the cot first. Get him off. Little pressure. There you go. Again. Place. Good place. There you go. Take him off a different way. He's a young pup, 15 weeks old, so he's not as insecure. I can kind of get a little bit more out of him. Place. Good. Good place. One more time. Go. Place. Good. Go place. All right. Let the games begin. You know what? I'm actually going to just hold on to this for now. I'm not going to back time just yet. I'm going to sit beside him. So ideally, where I would have him is in a corner of a wall. My corners are kind of taken up. My layout's a little bit funny, so this is how we're going to work it. I have it typically for other dogs set up in a different spot, but this is just easier for filming. Excuse me, I'm still sick. I have my tea and honey. So this is where we put all the mental work in for him. Start to establish a good amount of boundaries, impulse control, really get his brain working, and then also teaching him calm. So what I like to call placement for my dogs is either their lazy boy or their work desk. It's kind of both. So just like I'm sitting in my lazy boy recliner, right? I can kind of recline and take it easy. We are generally relaxed when we're here. We kind of shut down, relax, and we generally, when we are on here, we're not on here for usually just 5 minutes or so. We're kind of in it for the long haul, so to speak. And then same thing with a school desk. We're not just up and out of our desk every 5 minutes. We're there to learn. So that's a little bit of a different state of mind. It's very controlled, structured learning. We have our spot in our classroom, which is our desk. That is ours. We get to relax there. And also learn lots, but in a calm state. Because if not calm, it's not. We're not going to be able to learn as much. So that's a no-go. You don't come on the couch, buddy. Not yours. So just like our lazy boy and our school desk, or a work desk at work, we don't stand on our desks. We sit, or in the case of our lazy boys, we can recline and lay down. Sit or lay down. We don't stand on our lazy boys to watch TV or watch a game or talk to our company or guests. It's sit or lay down. So that's the only thing that I control because I want that calm mindset. Standing is not calm. And standing means still walking off and making bad decisions. And there you go, he corrected himself. Good job. So this is step one. What we're doing now is we're teaching the tool. We're teaching what this cot represents and the mindset I want it to be in, what this means. So this is not going to look perfect right away, but this is the start to it. There's 3 steps of placement. This is just step 1. And just like anything else, so if you think about The example I use a lot of times is driving a car. Most of us have a license, and we've forgotten the process it took to get there. But before we can even step into a car, space. Before we can even step into a car and drive it, we have to study for an exam, make sure we know the rules of the road, right? Once we know the rules of the road, we pass our test to prove that we know the rules of the road. That's when we get to get our learners, right? Or beginners, whatever you want to call it. And then what happens is we have 9 months or so with an instructor and with drivers who've had their driver's license for so many years being in the passenger seat, and we have restrictions on when we can drive certain times, and same thing with blood alcohol content and how many passengers we're allowed to have, right? So he's doing a little bit of a nervous tick there by chewing his paw. No. So now he's just being a little pushy. And remember too, we're at that point where we're almost adults, right? We're in our late teens. Our brains are pretty complex when we get at that point. We understand a fair bit, but yet it takes us 9 months of our learners to get our drivers. And when we get our drivers, it's still restricted. It's not a full driver's license, right? You can still, I think you can still, you're still not allowed to have a blood alcohol level at all. You're still restricted on what hours and how many passengers, or how many passengers you can have between a certain amount of hours. For another, whatever it is, 9, 10, 12 months. And then you get your full license. So it's a process there. And we often rush these guys through the process. They're, if it takes us a year and a half or 2 years, whatever it is, to get our license, why should these guys be able to understand this, driving a car, in a week or two, and be rock stars, and never have an accident, be ready to go to the NASCAR or a rally race, right? The Baja 500 or whatever. Even us, after all that time, you stick me in a Ferrari and expect me to do the Daytona 500 or whatever it is, I'm going to wipe out, or I'm going to lose, right? Just because I can drive a car very well doesn't mean I'm set up to race, right? Or rally racing. I can do some off-roading for sure, but I don't have the skills or the equipment or the practice to be able to drive in those conditions. So setting these guys up to have total freedom of the house and be able to be relaxed all the time right away, again, is the same thing. They're not ready to drive a sports car. So this is how we get to them just having their license like we have ours. I hope that analogy makes sense. But just because they have their license doesn't mean they're going to be race car drivers. It's a whole different ballgame. So what's going to happen now? I teach this different than what I've seen a lot of other trainers do. I don't teach this as I'm in this for the long haul here, and I don't teach this as an obedience command, like go to your place. I teach this as go to your place as in relax and hang out with me for a while. So if you look online, you'll see a lot of people getting a dog to and from different places, and their dog is a rock star on placement, apparently. I don't see it that way. And I don't teach it quick like that. I'm here for the long haul, so me and him are probably going to me and him are going to hang out here for hours. So this is going to get a lot less mucky looking. It's going to get a lot smoother, but this is just the initial phase. So what's going to happen here is he's going to fight it for a while. He may relax soon and then pass out for a little bit, and then take a little nap, and then wake up and pass out again, or fight it again, and then pass out. I want that to happen about 2 or 3 times, and then I don't let him off unless he's calm. So however long that takes, he can be as pushy as he wants to. I'm going to let him work through it and help guide him if I need to. And this is part of the reason I don't usually have it in this spot, because he'll want to get on the couch. They usually have a bit more distance, and then they just jump up and to and from. Hey, don't disrespect my stuff. I paid for it. So that's where you teach no respect. And that you can't be a spoiled brat and chew my things and expect to get your way. Just like kids, if they throw a temper tantrum and they get their way, that's not very good parenting. Yeah, you can throw your temper tantrum, and what I'm saying to him here by letting him throw some of his temper tantrums and not intervening is saying, yeah, that's okay, sweetie. I understand this is different. You're learning. You can throw your temper tantrum, but you're going to do it here, right? And you're not going to get your way. You can't get your way every time you want to throw a temper tantrum, so that eventually those temper tantrums become few, if ever. Whereas you'll see some dogs have to do is squeal and cry or bark, and they immediately get their way, just like some children. And that's not a healthy mindset, because that doesn't work in the real world, right? If your kid throws a temper tantrum and it always works, what happens when they get their first job and their boss tells them to do something they don't want to do? They're going to get fired. Or they're going to get a lot of crap for it, but they've never experienced that before. So it's going to be devastating. I've seen that before. People are devastated. Like, what do you mean I have to do that? No way I'm not doing that. Well, you just lost your job. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I lost my job because of I didn't do this or didn't do that, or I showed up late. Yeah, that doesn't work for me. That's not real life for me. That's disrespectful. And it just, yeah, it's teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. And we all gotta have manners and have etiquette and stuff like that. So I don't care what kind of fancy tricks your dog can do. That's great. What I want is a dog that you can just live with, that's calm and confident, and then you can do whatever you want with. Like, you can take them downtown, you can take them to a friend's house and play cards for a night and not have your dog be a jerk. And you don't have to leave him at home if you don't want to, right? You can bring him with you, but he's well-mannered. Or, you can bring him to meet other friends' dogs and go for a walk whenever you want to. Or just have a day of chilling and having a Netflix day, right? You can just hang out and your dog's okay with that. So here's a little temper tantrum happening, that's fine. There's probably going to be a really bad one yet, I'm anticipating. But yeah, we'll be here for hours. So they're trying to be pushy. Pet me. No, not gonna work. We're at work right now. There's no moving around. And as hard as it is to sometimes see dogs go through this, I don't see it from what they're going through right now. I see the future vision, right? I see what this becomes and what this allows for him, right? It opens up the entire world for him and his family. So when he's throwing a temper tantrum and not wanting to do something, or he's become tired or whatever it may be, I don't see it as that in the moment. I see it as where is this going to get you to? The more hard work we put in, the further we get the sooner we get results. Just like us too, right? The harder you study at school, the better grades you're going to get, the better opportunities you're going to get. The harder you work, the more opportunities you're going to get, the more rewarding it's going to be. We're not being complacent, right? And even though it's really hard, having sleepless nights in school while you're studying, the reward at the end of it is you've had good grades. And you're going to be able to find fabulous jobs and have fabulous references because your professors and your teachers have said, this kid puts in the work, right? This kid is not going to let you down. They do what it takes. So that little bit of lack of sleep is totally worth it. So my goal here is, and we'll see how this goes, but to kind of cut this off at about half an hour or so, because it's going to be pretty boring to watch for most people, I think. And tell me if it's not, whoever watches this. But just so that it's not forever long. Because I'll do updates on this too, on how this goes, and I'm going to try and do daily ones. And again, he's only 15 weeks old. Little puppy, King Corso. So, and he's not used to this. This is the first time we've done this, and at home, he's had free reign, right? Like most of the puppies and dogs that people get in their lives, they just give their whole house up to them. So he's not used to being stationary here, which means he's not used to being in a calm state of mind, right? We have to put the training wheels back on the bike for him. He's not ready for a two-wheeler or a motorbike. He's just gonna wipe out. Talking too much. My throat's gonna be sore. You see how he's just stimulated by everything. And he's so young to be so stimulated, but I'm seeing a lot more of that with the puppies I'm working with lately. They're just so much more stimulated than is natural. No, absolutely not. So this is why a wall comes in handy. But again, video purposes. Nope. And just imagine that behavior when he grows up, right? So now it's a bit easier to mitigate because he's smaller, right? But that, no. Stop being pushy. I don't think so. No. So what he's doing now is any attention is good attention. So that's why I'm ignoring him as much as possible. Imagine that when he's full grown at, 100 and, gosh, what's he going to be, probably close to 150 pounds of full-blown grown King Corso, right? If you've never told him no before, imagine trying to get him off your couch like that, and if he came in like that at 150 pounds, he could crush a kid that's here, right? That's not okay. And that brings up a point that I like to talk to a lot of people about. Imagine your dog is a 200 plus pound giant mastiff. The same thing that you wouldn't allow from that dog, don't allow from any other size dog. That includes your 2-pound chihuahuas or your teacup poodles or any of that, because the behavior is the same. So if you wouldn't carry your 200 plus pound mastiff around, don't be carrying your little 2-pound dog around. If you wouldn't allow your 200 pound mastiff to jump up on your lap, then don't allow your 2-pound chihuahua to jump up on your lap. Same idea, because they're still a dog, just like humans, right? So if you wouldn't, let me give a good example here. Sorry, my brain does get a little tired because I'm sick, so sometimes it does kind of shut off. But I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to think of a different example there in human terms with children, but it's just not working right now. Oh, and what I did too, the first couple days, so this is actually only the second full day with me here. He got dropped off Friday evening, so Friday was just a kind of a detox day for him. Yesterday was much of the same, but we did do a little bit of work. The detox day, I call it that because we got to get kind of the athlete out of him, get the overstimulation, get him a little bit more calm and use his brain more instead of just going. So lots of rest. And then get the old kind of lifestyle that he's had for the last couple of weeks with his family out of him. So we can move forward in a healthier, easier state. So I can be as soft as possible with him while giving him direction as opposed to yanking and cranking. I don't want to do that. I hate yanking and cranking. The odd time, you got to be firm with the dog. I understand that because there are no-goes, but I always want to be as soft as possible. And most of the time I'm able to really do that. I'm only using a couple fingers here and just raising his head a little bit. But so yesterday we just did a little bit of leash work, which I put one video about. We did that a couple times during the day, really short sessions, and then let him just sleep and relax. Like, that's the other thing people get wrong with their puppies. They don't let him sleep enough. Think about it like a toddler or a newborn, because he's essentially still kind of a newborn. not even a year old in human terms. So how much is your little toddler sleeping? That's how much sleep this guy needs. But we don't often let them get that. Which is why they have endurance to fight like this. Because this isn't natural. We built up their endurance so they become kind of like gym rats where they can work out for, 8 hours a day and not be tired anymore. They still want more. That's kind of what's going on here. They're just too overstimulated, overworked. They have too much endurance. So we gotta take that out of them because that's not natural. So you see how quick he's still reacting. That was the ladies downstairs in my house. I guess they moved a dish or something that he heard. So any little thing, he's just on. So there, I just moved my feet. He's on right away. He's just constantly on. That state of mind, just imagine that, always being on like that, like always having to be on alert, right? That's what it is in his state of mind. He's always on high alert. So we're gonna help this guy out. So excited. So excited. See, it's having moments of those movements being a little bit softer, but they're still super quick. So you gotta just let them kind of work it out, let them figure it out. There's times to give direction, and there's times to let them just figure it out. The more often you can let them figure it out, with giving as little direction as possible, within reason, of course, the better it is for them, because you're establishing a really smart dog who's able to problem solve, right? Instead of giving them commands, they're able to figure it out on their own, making them really, really intelligent and more self-sufficient, right? That's our goal, to create the most self-sufficient dog possible, right? Just like with parenting a child, right? We want to make sure we set our kids up for a lifetime of success when we let them out of our house, right? So even though he laid down, he's getting quieter at the moment, but not calm. He's still on. And had I tried to do this the first day that he was with me, oh my gosh, it would have been battle royale. It wouldn't have been good for me or him. And it would have just gone on and on and on. And I didn't have the rapport with him yet, right? I hadn't set up any sort of trust with him that I have his best interest at hand, right? I'm not trying to overly force things. I'm trying to build upon, just like any healthy relationship. So pretend you meet a potential partner, either male, female, whatever it is, on a first date. If you hit it off right away, you're not going straight to the to City Hall and get married, right? Imagine you bring that up at your end of your first date. Oh yeah, let's get married right now. Like, no, I don't think so. We're not there yet, buddy. We gotta build that relationship. Same thing here, right? I can't expect him. I can't just force myself upon him and change his whole lifestyle like that. What he's learned. So, gotta take your time. Gotta build. So he realizes, hey, whatever he's asking me to do, there is a benefit for me at the end of it, right? He's not asking me to do something for a stupid reason and forcing it, right? I'm teaching the state of mind I want, a healthy state of mind, instead of a command. So he's trying to bite his tail there. He's realizing, oh, there's no real reward for that. What he's probably looking for right now is just a little bit of attention. So unless he starts chewing on that leash, I'm not going to give him any. I'll let him figure it out. Unless it gets neurotic, but that's kind of what he's looking for. Like, just like with some people, any attention is good attention, whether it's because they did a great job or because you're giving them crap for something. They're just looking for attention of any kind. And that's kind of what he's doing right now. And also a little bit of redirecting too. But that's okay. So there, one of the girls downstairs, I don't know if the camera catches this, said something, and we're like, oops, alert. So what I'll do is I'll turn this video off soon, and then what we're going to do is just hang out here, and I've got paperwork to do and stuff like that while I supervise him, so that I'm here with him, helping him out. And then we'll be here for a few more hours. Alright,